Hi guys, welcome back. So teams are going to start coming out this week, and we've had some good news today that Scotland versus France is on. It was up in the air as more and more positive cases came out in the French camp. Coaches, players, it was looking a little grim, but they've managed to stabilise it. Everyone has tested negative now, and the authorities are happy that it's safe to go on. If it hadn't happened, it would have been so messy. They probably would have tried to reschedule it for next week in the second rest week, but then Scotland might have had problems with release of players from English clubs. It would have been messy. Would Scotland have objected and tried to get the game basically cancelled and France forfeit the points? Well, at least that sort of mess has been avoided now. It is on. It's great. However, France certainly have been hit pretty hard, especially with these missing players. I mean, the question, first of all, for me is, I think Scotland, well, I'm going to make a statement, which I want you to respond to. I think Scotland are now favourites. Before, I was just tipping France, even though Scotland are at home. We know home advantage is certainly a lot less now. Scotland have been playing well, but you've got to say France have been playing better, and their players just look to have a little bit more edge about them. But now with all these, with all these missing players, it looks to me like Scotland are favourites. That might not sit too well with Scottish fans who maybe don't want to be favourites, but tell me if I'm right or wrong there. I mean, let me go through the list. First of all, for France, Marchand is out. Their number one hooker, a brilliant all-rounder, just great all over the park, set-piece offloading, you name it. And, of course, I believe Camille Chat is still injured, that absolute power-packed hooker who they normally bring off the bench. So their best two hookers are out. I think that's massive. They've got some props out as well, but other big notable missing players are Antoine Dupont, who is the best probably player in the world, certainly the best 9 in the world at the moment, even omitted by Aaron Smith himself. And even though Serran, who probably will come in to start, is outstanding, you know, there's only one Antoine Dupont, so you're going to lose a bit there. Probably, actually, what I think their biggest individual miss will be Ollivon, their captain. As a flanker, this guy is literally built like a perfect flanker. He's got the height, he's got the size, but he's not too big, he's not too tall, he's quick, he's got everything going for him, but he can't play. Vincent in the centre, who's been playing well, is out. They do have cover there, but that's no good. Dulin, who's a really classy fullback, is out. Villiers, their classy winger, is out. For me, I know the France have a lot of depth, and they could still win this game, of course, but I just think it tips the balance in favour of Scotland. I mean, I know we did see what France could do with a complete B team where they nearly beat England in the Autumn Nations Cup final, but still I'm putting Scotland as favourites. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Plus, when you factor in the disruption to the preparation, new players are going to have to form new links, new understandings. It's not great, but at least we got a match. It should be a really good match. Pretty close, but I'm tipping Scotland actually, but we'll see. Second thing I want to talk about is honest Billy Vunipola. He's taken a lot of flack for his performances, including from myself, and I think rightly so, because his performances have been poor. And he's come out and he's just completely owned it and said, you're absolutely right. Rather than kind of defending himself or just hiding away, he's come out and said they were rubbish. My performances were rubbish. It's not good enough. And he's went into even more detail, which is brilliant. This guy is so honest. You know, he basically said it was almost a form of cowardice because he was so unfit. In the games, he was having to cut corners to try and be effective. So rather than doing all the off-the-ball work that obviously players need to do and Eddie wants people to do, he was having to cut corners so he could save some energy for actually his carrying and some big impacts. And you feel terrible. You know what it's like if you come back to a game, you know you're not fully fit, you know you're kind of carrying yourself a little bit, but you're kind of letting other people do a lot of the work just so you can get through the game. It's not a good feeling, especially when you're playing for England. But Billy owes Eddie big time, because Eddie has given Billy 2 free caps, if you like, 50 grand odds worth of money, 4 weeks of a international training camp, basically as a fitness camp to get him ready to this point. And he needs to repay Eddie now. I think 4 weeks of hard work plus 2 games should be enough to get you up to match fit. If you're not, then you were in terrible shape before, but I hope he has a big performance. I really appreciate his honesty, so let's see how he goes. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. The Billy Vunipola honesty and the Scottish game now being on, the French players missing. Will it make an impact? Does it make Scotland the favourites? Who do you think is going to win? And I'll be back with some team news next time, so I'll see you later.